Hello there, everyone. It's Thursday, September 15th, 2016. And of course, this is the Let's Talk About Robot Trading webinar. We do this every single Thursday, and we will for the foreseeable future. We're at least going to go through December, if you're interested, and I hope that you are, and then maybe beyond. Finding that it's a very, very nice complement to my Wednesday blog. And by the way, let me just say this. I want this recorded. I want it out on the internet forever. I'm extremely hurt that no one has even commented once on my brand new blog look. I spent a few hours trying to make that look extra cool, and not one person has given me a compliment on my blog, and that hurts my feelings, even though it doesn't hurt my feelings. But I do hope you've checked it out, and I hope you like it. I think it's great. I like to go and just look at it. But anyway, my blog post is on Wednesday, and then we follow up with a related topic on Thursday. So it's a very nice system we've developed here over the months, and I'm really excited about it. Today, let's talk about $1.4 million and why you're not interested in $1.4 million. And remember, when I say you're not interested, I mean I'm not interested either. Or am I? Let's see. When going over the research for this particular webinar and this particular topic, it really struck me as an incredible realization. And now people say, it's incredible. The coffee's incredible. Well, coffee isn't incredible, all right? It's not nothing unbelievable. It's not like your belief systems cannot be wrapped around a cup of coffee, okay? It's used too much. I understand that. But I really mean incredible this time. Like, I can't even believe that I'm going to show you data that turns a small amount of money into 1.4 million. I can't believe that no one's interested in that. I can't believe it. It is incredible, or as we say in Paris, incroyable, even though I'm not in Paris. Okay. But I do find this topic absolutely amazing. And I think it hits something extremely important. If you are ever unsure about how important trading psychology is, if you're like, well, it's a bunch of garbage, and there was a recent famous person that maybe even Rob Booker talked about that I may even write another free ebook about, which I'm seriously considering. I've already started making the notes. But a very famous person said that there's no such thing as trading psychology, which made me want to throw up hot vomit in my own mouth. That's absolutely a joke. But anyway, that's an ebook or another topic. But if you're ever unsure how important trading psychology is, I think this webinar will change some things for you. It should really clear that up. Okay. What do I mean? Well, I am going to present a pathway to over $1 million. You have to say it that way too, by the way. And I bet nobody will want it. All right. Care to take me up on my bet? Well, let's find out, everybody. Okay. I mentioned it yesterday in the blog post. The most important tool in your trade for a living toolbox is money. Do you understand what I'm saying? This hit me because it said, yeah. You get so immersed in the minutia of trading. I love developing and researching systems. I love it so much. I do. I just love the research. It's crazy. I need therapy. But when you get involved in this circular world of more systems, you can't see the forest for the trees, and you forget something that's extraordinarily important. The strategy you use is important, but not as important as money. Your computer speed or setup or monitors or VPS doesn't matter. Back testing doesn't matter when compared to money. The number one important tool is money. All that stuff matters, but nothing matters as much as having a bunch of money. If your trading stake is enormous, then you can do anything. You can say, I'm a trader and I trade for a living, and you can be a genius and you can put out seminars or webinars or books because you can do anything. Think about this. I know I wrote about it, but I don't think you thought about it enough. I'm yelling at you. If you have $1 million in your trading account somehow, and you live beneath your means, if you don't need 94 Rolls Royces and you don't need trips to Aruba every other weekend, you don't need, if you just say, I like a few nice things and that gives me joy, and I like to travel a little bit, but I don't have really any credit card debt. I use credit cards, but I pay them off. I buy groceries, but only the ones I need. I live a great life, but just not an unnecessarily extravagant life. If you have $1 million in your trading account and you live beneath your means, just not in debt, still have nice stuff, you can do almost anything. Now, the example I used was $2,000 a month. I know that's a tiny, tiny number. I understand that. But if you've paid off your stuff, or if you're a young person, or if you're an older person, or if you're even a middle-aged person, 30s, millennials, I don't care, but you're super smart with your money, which I wasn't, so I don't expect you to be, but if you were, 2,000 is a decent number. You can get a nice house for under that, expenses, whatever. Maybe you've paid off your expenses. Maybe you rent an apartment for $1,000 a month out in the country, right? Places like South Carolina or other rural places, you can get great stuff for 1/4 the price. But if you have $1 million and live beneath your means, what is trading for a living? You could put that money, put your $1 million in a savings account, and you'd meet your $2,000 expenses. Do you understand that $2,000 expenses on $1 million is 2.4% a year? A year! Are you kidding me? Do savings accounts do 2.4% a year? They come close. Do CDs? Yes. Do checking accounts? Pretty close, if not yes. If you put your money in an index fund and it made 5% per year on average, you'd be actually increasing your $1 million trade size or your account size. Do you get my point? Yes, maybe your expenses are 4,000 or 5,000. Oh golly, now you've gone up to 4 or 5% a year, whatever. If you have a huge trading stake and live beneath your means, you can do anything. You can do those silly things. As it says on the screen, you can randomly pick stocks and hold them. I like Apple. It's been down. I'm going to hold it for 10 years. I bet you that average is 2.4% a year or thereabouts. Or you could just pick trade. You could be a day trader. Doesn't matter. These are small trades. I'm going to pick this, sell this. Oh, I made a little bit of money, right? You can screw around back and forth, up and down, and probably make 2.4% a year, right? Or, heck, you could put it buy a robot that you trust, put the most secure, calm, boring, whatever. I don't know if secure is the right word, but you know what I mean. Put the smallest trade size on it and make 5% a year, right? There are a ton of things you can do if you had money, and none of them had anything to do with how good your strategy is. If you have a chunk of money, you don't have to be good if you have money. Using sports analogies, Duke basketball, you don't have to be a great coach to win at Duke, right? Alabama football, Michigan football, whatever, right? If you have a great program, there are many coaches that have come in. Dallas Cowboys, use an example of Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer was not a very good pro coach. He went in and won a Super Bowl. Why? Because Dallas Cowboys were quote unquote rich. They had a ton of good players already, so the coach didn't even matter, right? And if you don't know the sports references, I apologize, but you get the point. You don't have to be good if you have a lot of money. But the point of today and yesterday was, what if you don't have the money? Which is me. I have a decent chunk, but no means enough. I'm absolutely nowhere near having $1 million trading stake. I trade a 6-figure account, but I'm by no means rich. I'm going to get there, right? Via trading. That's why we're talking about it. However, no, I'm trading $2,000 accounts sometimes, $10,000 accounts, $30,000 accounts. I've traded all sorts of accounts, never higher than 6 figures though, because I want to try to turn stuff into something bigger so that the pressure is off. Okay. So let's say we don't have a lot of money. Then you need to have a good system. Then it matters. You can't just screw around and randomly buy and hold stocks if you have a small amount of money. You need to make money on this money. We need to make that big break. We need to make that big windfall. And that's what it says here. The less money you have, the better you have to be. But this applies to anything. It applies to business. For example, my tennis career as a 23-year-old. If you're a big name slash, rich in clients or rich in reputation, you get students by showing up. When you have a name in tennis or anything else, but I'll just tell you about my world the way it was. When you have a name, the name pros, all they have to do is show up. People call the front desk and you get lessons, right? Teach as much or as little as you want. It doesn't matter. When you're starting out like I was and you have no clients, you better be great. You better be really, really good. Excuse me. You better make people better. In other words, your students better improve in a hurry or you're going to get left behind. Same thing with trading. If you have a small amount, you need to be good as fast as possible, right? You need to be able to grow that thing. You can't screw around. Because if we can get to that big number, and we're just using $1 million in the past few weeks, if we can get to that big number, the pressure is off. And we can trade for a living super comfortably. So how do we get there? Well, here's a way to Easy Street, or that magic big break land. How do we get there? Well, yesterday in the blog post, I talked about a trend following robot. And this is in opposition to the week before where I talked about day trading. So we're no longer talking about day trading. Let's talk about trend following. And there are some advantages to that. Yesterday, I talked about a trend following robot that takes 10K and turned into 140K. Now, if we didn't have the previous example, that would be darn fantastic. It was pretty exciting to me, right? Because this sort of stuff makes me excited. Now, when we talk about a trend following system, what are we talking about? We're talking about a system, a trading system, backed by tons of research dating back 1,000 years or more. Some research on trend following systems goes back 1,200 years. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. And not only is there research on trend following, it has been verifiably traded by famous traders for decades, since the 80s. They're still doing it. You can look up their real numbers. It's verified. Trend following systems have been verified since the 80s. We're talking about 40 years of consistent performance, which is interesting because then we have data going back 100 years. Well, that's similar to what we've had the past 40 and on and on. Furthermore, this system yesterday is so easy. You don't have to worry about necessarily even getting set up or understanding the system. It takes 4.8 seconds to understand the system, and that's it. You don't have to worry about time of day. You don't have to worry about indicators. Is my stochastics right? Is my RSI right? Is my moving average right? Are my moving averages right? All of it is so simple. And furthermore, it trades on a daily chart. There's no rushing around. There's no checking it. Oh, I'm in a trade. Oh, I've been in a trade for 46 minutes. I can't take it anymore. It's a daily chart. Calm down. Read the paper. Remember Darvis, Nicholas Darvis, the famous How I Made $1 Million in the Stock Market, or whatever it's called, right? One of my favorite books. I've read it twice, right? He read charts weekly, which you could do in this system. He was a professional dancer that got barons once a week and made trading decisions based on that way and made, a couple thousand turn into $1 million, right? It trades on a daily chart. Furthermore, you only get about 4 trades a year. 4 trades a year. That's it. That's all you have to worry about. Many, many months, nothing. Weeks, nothing. Easy. Pressure's off. Nothing to worry about, right? I can't imagine a vehicle more easy than that. And we all like easy, right? Question mark. Furthermore, you don't have to max out your trading size. Remember our day trading example? I ratcheted up as far as it could go, as much leverage as is possible to me right now in 2016. But that's it, right? And I mean, it worked out pretty well, right? It was a good example. I believe in that example. I trade that example, all right? But that was it. If we wanted to trade more robots, couldn't do it. Not in that size account, right? You'd have to lower your trade size, and then you've got the disadvantages we talked about. On this particular robot, you don't max out your trading size because the amount of drawdown that it produces at a certain trade size was about the same. By the way, I'm sorry, backtrack 1 second. This drawdown of the trend following was exactly the same as the day trading, about 50%. Okay, I tried to keep them apples to apples. So when you got the drawdown to 50% on a trend following robot, you weren't using the maximum amount. You had plenty of room under, excuse me, a margin. You had plenty of margin. So you weren't maxed out. That's a good thing. Because we weren't maxed out using a trend following system, we can add other robots. Now, I know we argued against diversification, but this only trades 4 times a year. I think it wouldn't be the worst thing to add just one more. Let's add just one more, right? I'm not adding 10 or 20 or 100 like other trend followers do. Let's add just one. So I did. And what did I pick? The dollar yen, because it was kind of not like the euro dollar. Remember, this first example from yesterday was the euro dollar. So it's not really the same, and it's just the first one I picked off the top of my head. So I'm sorry, I should have researched that better. All right. Here's what happened when you take the robot from yesterday and add the dollar yen. Here it is. There's your $10,000, okay? Now, this wasn't by month. No. This was by trade. Doing it by month is kind of pointless because it missed so many months. All I did was it took a trade, and by the way, it's on a daily chart, so it lasts a while. I took a trade, and then I reevaluated the trade size at the end of every trade. So if that trade was a loser, then I went backwards with my trade size, right? If it was a winner, then I increased my trade size. And again, I increased the same amount. As my account went up X percent, my trade size went up 10%, right? Or I think it was 10 to 10. Yeah, that's what I said. I think I said X, but who cares? You're not listening that close. All right. So 10%, when it went up 10, I raised 10, okay? And then the account went up or down depending on the trade. When it says went up or down, the trade size went up or down according to the result, right? So simple. So there's our $10,000 starting. And at the end of 2000, which is where my data went back to, the dollar yen robot, trend following robot, took a trade. Whoa, massive winner. Now, that's a massive winner, right? That's 50% winner. Now, is that unreasonable? On a day trading robot, that is extraordinarily unreasonable. That's never going to happen in my robots ever. Never. You take small wins and win a high percentage of time. Is trend following that way? No, right? What do we know about trend following? Monstrous, gargantuan wins and reasonably small losses. That's the basis of trend following. You win less as far as percentage, but you make more. In fact, you almost could make unlimited because if the trend goes on forever, you get a winner forever. So is this rare? No, not with trend following. Furthermore, I did jack up the trade size a little bit on these, right? It wasn't 1% of my account, right? It was way higher than that. So this is just our hypothetical example, right? We're just looking at data that I honestly came by, right? I didn't try to rig this in any way, but it is hypothetical data. We say it every week. I didn't trade this in November 2000. I didn't do it myself, but this is what would have happened. Okay, anyway. So obviously it went up, so I raised my trade size. The next euro dollar had a winner, right? Small winner. So I went up. So, all right. So I'll save you the boring details, but you can see it rises and it falls. You can see the reds, right? See the red trades. Those are the losers. Sometimes you go through a losing stretch, right? But as far as amount, but look at what happens. Look at this losing stretch, right? Oh, I've lost $2,200. And then big dog trend in the dollar yen comes along and wipes it all away. This is trend following personified. This is it. I don't know if personified is the right word, but you know what I mean. Again, I'm using fun words today. And then a loser here and so forth, okay? As you can see, our $10,000 account is growing, right? It's not without drawdowns, right? You can see all the losers. Here's a nasty little losing period where our account drew down 22,000, right? We got it up to 73,000 by 2004, and then it dropped to 61. So that's about a 22% drawdown, right? That stinks. All right, and look at from 2004 to 7, so that's 5-6 months of lose. All you've done is look at your robots. Oh, can't wait to see the robots today. Loser, loser. Oh, robots today. Loser, right? Not easy, 22%. But if you believe in trend following, you just keep going. We cracked the $100,000 barrier by 2005. We cracked the $200,000 barrier about 2007, 300 in 2008, 400 in 2010, took us a while, and then it starts getting wild. Here you can see by 2012 we hit 700,000, and then by 2012 we hit 1.4 million plus. How many trades did it take? 103 trades. Our $10,000 account with a lot of losing and a lot of drawdown, right? Our $10,000 account became 1.4 million in about, what is that? So 2001 to 2012, about 12 years. So that's not bad. Let's go back to our spreadsheet. And this isn't a spreadsheet. This is, sorry, the PowerPoint. Anyway, about 12 years from today. So imagine with me, everyone, if we decided I believe in trend following, then I'm going to put these robots in an account and I'm not going to screw around. I'm not going to play games. I'm going to do it. About 12 years from today, it's possible, and it's trading about 8 times a year. Whoa, when we added another robot, we traded a whole other 4 times on average per year. So not even a trade a month, all right? This is nothing. This is hardly any trading. But about 12 years from today, you would be set for the rest of your life. You'd have 12 years to get your expenses in order, get your living arrangements in order, get your personal philosophies in order, get an extraordinarily happy life in a place that you want to live with very little debt. You have 12 years. Meanwhile, the robots do all the work. You would have that $1 million, and then you can do whatever the heck you want. Could you continue on that path? Of course, and make a ton of money. But think about that. I mean, if I were selling you something, this would be a really good sales pitch, right? Furthermore, this methodology is backed up by more research than anything else you can find. Right? Value stocks. I've read a lot of research on value stocks that goes back, blah, 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 even maybe to the 30s and 40s and 50s, right? But trend following goes back 1,200 years, and people are constantly writing stuff up on it, white papers and boring stuff. There's no greater time period of any methodology that's ever been tested in any other way, right? This is the most researched trading system ever. I don't really think that's disputable. And if so, dispute me. It can be traded by a robot, right? I have a robot built, right? I have a robot built for multiple platforms. Of course I do. That's what I do. But could you trade this manually? Yes. It trades 8 times a year. Anyone can do it. Not even hard, right? It's easy to understand, right? Trend following is not hard to understand. It breaks a trend, right? It goes up, so you buy it. It goes down, so you sell it, right? Moving averages crosses this or whatever, right? But this is based on the turtle, so this is breakout, right? And it's easy to trust. How much data do you need before you trust something, right? How many more studies need to come out before you trust it? And yet all of this, I say you're on easy street 12 years from today. It's easy, backed up by methodology, backed up by research. I bet you nobody wants it. Why? Because it trades only 8 times a year. No one has the patience or discipline. I'm speaking to me too. When we say we want to be a trader, this is not the game we thought about. It's not what I thought about. Now, maybe it is for you. Maybe you're a more fully formed human than I am. But nobody wants this method because it's, quote, not really trading, right? We think of trading. Turn on the robots. Where's my trade, right? I've had people email me say, I haven't gotten a trade. Why haven't I gotten a trade? I need a trade. Where's my trade? Trade, 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 right? And I say, it trades a day trading robot. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 times a week. People want trades. I'm not blaming you or even mocking you, right? I totally understand. It doesn't feel like you're working, right? Nobody wants to have this conversation, all right? Let's say you buy this methodology and you want to implement it, right? And you do, and you're committed, and you're euphoric, right? Then you convince your trading partner or your wife or your spouse or whoever, boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. And you say, listen, this is what, 12 years from now, there's a chance we could have over $1 million, right? How great is that? And he or she says, yeah, right? So then they come to you the next day and they said, okay, how are the markets? Do we make any money? And you say, no. No trades today. So they come back the next day. Howard, did we make money? No trades today. They come back next week. Did we make any money? No trades today. They come back in a month. How are we doing? No trades today. Do you see what I'm saying? Honey, sweetie pie, you said we are going to make millions. It doesn't even trade. Is it broken? Right? I mean, is the robot broken? Listen, I got to find something that trades. I can't take the pressure of reporting to my trading partner or even reporting to myself. I can't take the pressure of sitting on my hands for 2 months not doing anything. Look, and all of that time, that 2 months, I could have been trading. I could have been making money, right? The point of all this is this. Don't underestimate the power of having a huge trading stake. And there's nothing wrong with being committed to getting to that promised land, that big money trading stake. But be very clear about your goals. If you say you want to be a trader and someone shows you something that makes every goal you've ever had come true, be very clear that that actually meets your goals, right? And be very certain that you mean it. If you say you want something and someone delivers, but in a way that you weren't really thinking of, it'd be easy to say, no, I don't want that. So then it begs the question, what do you really want? This is a trading system, turns 10,000 into 1.4 million on paper, easily, trading 8 times a year. No fuss, no muss. But hardly anybody would want it, and hardly anybody is going to do it, right? Are you different? Interesting. Isn't psychology powerful? I told you. I can answer your monetary questions, but can I answer your psychological questions? Right. But if you know what you want and you don't mind getting there in a certain way, pretty much you can do anything you want with your trading account, right? So that's the point for today. Pretty interesting, huh? Before I get to the latest updates, I'll take a few questions and then we'll move along. Let's see. Let me scroll back. There's got to be a better way to roll back these questions rather than just scrolling back on my screen. All right. I'm sorry. Ilima, did I say that right? Ilima Shima, is that right? Did I say it right? He says aloha, and I am kind of obsessed with going to Hawaii one day. I've never been, so I love hearing that, by the way. How are you doing back? Oh, Talon says, am I in South Carolina? Yes, I am. Loud and clear, visuals good, screen good too. I think I scrolled back too far. All right. It really is extra, I don't know. Daniel says, what? I don't know what Daniel means. I'm ready. Douglas says, I'm ready for the next 100% no lose robot. Are you, Douglas? That doesn't seem like that's your personality. That's interesting. I don't like any other 100% robots yet, by the way. I don't really like them that much. They work, but I don't really like the drawdowns. So actually, I just built a modification to my 100% robot, and I'm testing that out. I'm trying to see if I can reduce some drawdown. But not that pumped up about it. They all make profit, and they all work out in the end, but I don't know. Drawdown doesn't thrill me. Anyway, that was off topic. Doriel says, do you have a real account signal? I don't know what that means, a real account signal. Dorian, sorry, I just don't know what that means, like a trade copy service or something? Not sure. Douglas says, let's take $1 million and put it on. Douglas, you actually made me laugh out loud. I'm going to do a blog post on the good old Aussie yen, which had a winner today, by the way. That is really funny. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I think maybe only the Joker would take $1 million and put it on the Aussie yen. And you know what? The Joker would probably be rich, and then he would burn it. Talon says, is that the same strategy on both currency pairs? Exactly the same, Talon. Yes. What was the initial trade size? I'm not that good at working out margin yet. The breakout turtle robot adjusts the trade size every single time. So it was roughly like between 3 and 6 mini lot, not mini lot. Yeah, mini lot, sorry. $3 and $6 per pip, right? Yeah. So in other words, 0.3 to 0.5 if you're talking MT4. Got it? Okay. I said that pretty terribly. Let's see. Dennis says, again, are you not touching the principal? I don't think so, Douglas. Right? I think, remember in this one, luckily our first trade went up. So A, it never went down, so below our principal, and B, I would never take any money out. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, this assumes you'd never withdraw, right? What we're trying to do in this experiment is build a big stake untouched, and then once we build that stake, then we withdraw. I hope that's clear. Sorry. With your $100,000 account, you could have 10 million. Oh, Douglas, I know. I think about that every single day. Yes, but I'm working on that $100,000 account. My trade size has been increased, and it's going to increase more, so I'm doing it. Ilma says, I'm in. Douglas, I want it now. I'm building a mixed robot portfolio. Douglas, you're so impulsive. But yes, of course, email me, get you whatever you want. Very interesting thinking, says Johan. Less is more. I know. This is, again, I'm not lecturing you. I'm lecturing me. Pronounced Ilima. Then I'll say it. Come on down, Ilima. All right, I will say that right, and if I don't, slap me. What about combining these with 1 or 2 day trading robots to get the big wins and also cover the, yes. Now, of course, Jesse, and I've done that. I've worked on portfolios where I mix these, and it's always been not as good as focusing every single time. I mean, literally years. I've put together a portfolio periodically. I'm like, okay, well, that's not as good as trading one, and then I let it go, and I come back to it a few months later, and I do it again, and I do it again, and it's never happened. The problem that we'd run into is to trade the day trading robot with these two, let's say, we'd have to lower the trade size on the day trading robot. And we like that trade size because that also turns 10,000 into a million, right? So now we're lowering the potency of that day trading robot and then dividing the potency between the three. And what I found, and I have not done that, and I'm absolutely interested, and I may do that today or tomorrow, actually combine these two, because now I'm intrigued. But what has happened to me in the past is that all of it becomes less potent, and you make more money if you just stuck with one. So that's why I haven't, but I'm curious. So maybe we'll take a look at that. You get the big wins, and then you cover the need desire. Yep, absolutely. Mel says, what I want is to make 100% per year consistently. It takes a lot of guts to make 100%. I'm not saying it's not possible. I think it is possible, but you've got to be able to take drawdown melt like it's breathing air. And I'm not that great at drawdown, just being honest with you. I'm working on it constantly, always. But you have to be able to be willing to lose or see your account go down 50 or 60% all the time to make 100%. I can show you numbers that it's possible. I've made 100% in 1 year, right? So, I mean, I've done that. But to do it every year, you just have to be able to handle drawdown. Is this the same trend following strategy you announced in the webinar following the Houston event? The euro dollar is exactly the same, Scott. Exactly the same robot. The dollar yen is the same type of robot with slightly different settings, but it is precisely the Houston robot. You better believe it. Let's see. Scroll down. Was this a trend line break entry or breakout of highs? Breakout of highs. Jesse says, is this using the same robot you were talking about? Yes, I just say yeah, absolutely. It is. The euro dollar. The dollar yen we didn't talk about in Houston. The euro dollar we did. Don't forget to double your account project we are all doing as a group. And yes, we are. Well, maybe not officially, but I think we're all going to band together and do it. And I'm going to be talking about it. So I say we are. Anyway, let's get back to the slides. Let's finishing it up as usual. I'm over and I apologize again. My email went absolutely bonkers yesterday. I'm not sure why, but everything went to trash. If you email me after 4 p.m. Eastern yesterday and I have not responded back by now, either I'm lying in a ditch somewhere or my email was screwed up, right? Please email me again if I did not respond. I think I've got it fixed. I'm receiving emails again, but I don't know why that happened, but it did. So please email me again. I'm also considering a Robot of the Month club. For lifetime members, obviously this would be a free robot every single month. But it's just something I'm honestly, I feel bad about talking about all these robots and then I don't offer anything for sale. Like nobody can get them. Nobody, I mean, I don't even offer, I don't know. I just feel like I'd like to be able to talk about a robot and then give it to people for free. Now, it wouldn't be the actual robot per se, but I'd go over the details and the settings. You could trade it in a discretionary manner or build your own robot maybe, and then if you wanted to just have me build it for you, I could do that too. Just something I'm throwing around the back of my mind. I have all these robots in production. I just feel like maybe if I just brought out one each month, gave all the details on it, made it very inexpensive, because my lifetime membership is so expensive. Just something I think about. Of course, again, lifetime members would get it for free. I have the robots. I've already started the project. I'm just not sure if I'm going to do it or not. Just something I'm thinking about. So if you have any feedback on that, I'd love to hear it. Like I mentioned, I'm working on a new version of the 100% robot. I'm not thrilled with the drawdown. They all work. They all win. But, I guess I have a hard time. Here's just the bottom line. I have robots that have stop losses. Anyway, I'm going to leave you in suspense. We're over time. I'll do it in a blog post, or I'll do it in a webinar next Thursday. I'll tell you the reason why I'm just not thrilled about the drawdowns. Suspenseful. And I'm focusing on whittling down my portfolios. All of my accounts, including the six-figure, have got one or actually two or less robots on them. I'm just whittling it down. So I'm not against diversification. I'm a huge proponent of diversification, but my brain doesn't like it right now. So I'm very, very, very focused right now, as you should know. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. A lot of you have. It's growing. I want to make this very systematic and easy. Blog post Wednesday, webinar Thursday, get the video on YouTube. We all get the same information. All my lifetime members are up to date. Everybody's not a lifetime member is up to date. It would just make everything really seamless if you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel. So there you go. There's the contact information. If you're watching the recording, there's everything. There's how to get to the YouTube channel. If you're going to open an account, please talk to Justin Hertzberg. I just don't want anyone trading robots without him. He's so great. It just makes your life so much easier. And that's all for this week. Love being here as always. We have plenty to talk about next week, and I look forward to it. Until then, I will talk to you later. Bye for now.